Hello everyone, it is the me, Game Penguin 21, and today, oh boy, we're probably going to be looking at 1 to 2 videos today. I'm unsure if I'm going to split this into 2 different parts. If so, I'm probably just going to not mention it. But today we're going to be looking at more salt from the Activision Blizzard deal, because this thing is making just fucking waves right now, and it's probably the most popular thing to be coming in the next couple of weeks. So I have a couple videos here lined up, as well as a couple other videos that I have had in my backlog for a while, so when everything here goes down, I still have content for you guys. In any case, today we're going to be looking at the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Herman Smith, because his video is actually shorter. The other one that I would like to get into, but probably, again, not this video, maybe the next video, is the amazing Lucas, but I'm going to have to skip certain parts of it because, again, there's a lot to really kind of talk about in his video, and he does generally just go over the history of it. He seems to be trying to make some sort of mid-conversation, but at the same time, I'm not too certain on it. But since this is a more supplementary video and I wanted to make it just short and sweet and to the point, let's get into this actual content here about Microsoft owns Call of Duty, They Won, by Harman Smith.
We are officially in the twilight years for Sony PlayStation. Losing Call of Duty to Microsoft is essentially going to kill the brand. I think a lot of people don't really appreciate the fact that COD is basically the only thing that keeps PlayStation relevant year to year.
First of all, that aspect ratio, Jesus H. Tap dancing Christ, that's amazing. Secondly, Sir, no. There's a lot more to PlayStation than that. And I know I have to defend PlayStation. I know PlayStation fans are like, oh, well, the first-party games. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm defending this. You can put your pitchforks down. Everyone hates this, man. Congratulations, you are within the fold for today, at least this video. In any case, Call of Duty does not tend to keep PlayStation relevant. I think, again, he has a very Nintendo-centric mindset, as a lot of people here know. But to say that Nintendo, say that Call of Duty was lost to Microsoft would be mostly incorrect. It's only mostly, as there is actually some truth in this fact that they lost out on probably a very profitable deal, which they did eventually sign, or at least they are in talks to sign, which a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, they might not actually bring it to Call of Duty, like they might actually bring Call of Duty to PlayStation, like people like MBG once said. But here's the thing, sir. No, Microsoft is not that fucking stupid. Again, my biggest evidence to this is Minecraft. That game made all the money, and Microsoft didn't have to let it be on PlayStation, but they did anyway. They made a PlayStation version. They keep the PlayStation version up to date. They keep a console version up to date. And again, it's available with crossplay to everything. And I always use this evidence because it's very, very important. Sony was the last one to get crossplay for Minecraft. So the other people played nice. Sony seemed to be the only one that wasn't playing that way. And that's the earliest evidence that I can think of that was public knowledge that Sony wasn't as all cracked up to be. But to say that Call of Duty isn't a small part, isn't like a small part of their overall thing, would be also a lie, because again, it's not the thing that keeps them relevant. A lot of people do tend to buy Sony PlayStation consoles for that Call of Duty, but that's again because like a causation of causation, blah 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 blah. Anyway, we all know that this is probably bait, but let's continue.
Like, they may talk about The Last of Us or like the big RPGs, like the stuff BioWare puts out, or like the EA games, or what have you. But like, the primary reason that people play COD, like PlayStation and Xbox, the primary reason these things have remained relevant so long is because of Call of Duty. Because it is the basic bitch video game franchise for people who don't play video games, right? This is the brand, the reason that people break up other platforms other than Nintendo. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I brought up that I only played Nintendo back in the day, but had some fat fuck try to tell me that, like, oh, but Nintendo...
Jeez. Okay. Well, Nintendo did have Call of Duty at some point. It's just that Call of Duty tended to outgrow Nintendo rather quickly because, again, it was a yearly release schedule, and most of the other consoles were actually following, say, power over novelty and things like that. Now, again, he is not entirely wrong in saying that most people just do tend to buy these consoles to play Call of Duty. Again, Call of Duty is a massive fucking franchise, and most people that would know how to play these games would want to get it on the console of their choice. And in this context, if they have either Microsoft or Sony stuff or leaning things, which is why they've tried to implement crossplay and things like that, overall, he's not wrong, but at the same time, he's just not correct. There is other reasons to buy other consoles. For example, Xbox has Game Pass, and PlayStation Plus has, well, PlayStation Plus. You know what the fuck I mean in that context. But to say overall they are only still viable because of Call of Duty, no. There's a lot more other reasons for it, unfortunately. Again, console exclusives are a thing. Sony has a lot more console exclusives, and someone would argue that even Nintendo has even more console exclusives. But then again, their model is slightly different than anything else. Overall, he's not incorrect. It's like one of those yes, but actually type dealios. So, continuing on.
Doesn't have Call of Duty. That was always the justification for it. That was always the excuse. That was always the reasoning. And now that Microsoft has acquired Call of Duty, now that it is an Xbox exclusive, now that we are going to see PlayStation not get...
First of all, that's actually not true. Sony did sign the 10-year agreement, and also Nintendo signed a 10-year agreement, and also Steam signed wait. No, I don't... hold on. I thought that they did, but I think I remembered a tweet saying that they didn't because they trust Microsoft to bring it to their platform anyway, so they didn't need to. And literally, the entire point of the FTC and other governmental bodies investigating Microsoft for chances of monopolization is the following fact, that each of the consoles and that each of the games of Call of Duty would be exclusive to those platforms, and they would say like, oh, that could cause negative effects and decrease competition, when in fact the opposite was actually true, because Microsoft doesn't want to keep Call of Duty on its own platform. Maybe some of the other games, absolutely, they didn't mention anything about that, but all of the governmental bodies were literally looking to Microsoft to say, hey, we want you to keep these on the other consoles and even other cloud platforms for 10 years. And Microsoft was like, yes, we agree. Why are we having a fight about this? And they're like, well, Sony said, and then it's like, well, then there's your problem. That was literally the entire FTC the entire governmental body shit versus Microsoft, like Microsoft versus the fucking world on this deal. And you're like, oh, well, it's actually a console exclusive. No, it's not. Fuck no, it's not. Like, all of the exclusive, the only thing that this does really is bring Call of Duty to Game Pass and other cloud services. It brings them day one to Gay Pass. Did not mean to say that, but it brings them day one to Game Pass. It brings a lot of the other prices and things up to Game Pass, and there was a lot of other things that were involved in this case that, like, oh yeah, Call of Duty is going to be exclusive. No, it's fucking not. And in any case, let's hear the two things that this changes now that they're a, quote, exclusive, even though they've signed deals and handed out contracts to keep the Call of Duty on all platforms for 10 years. So,
Call of Duty games, two things are going to happen. First of all, Call of Duty is going to fall off hard, right? Without, like, the PlayStation audience propping it up, like, Call of Duty is going to lose a lot of its appeal. It's going to lose a lot of its audience to other games, to other franchises. That's going to be a problem in and of itself. Like, secondly, though, and I think more importantly, like, PlayStation is not going to get that audience, right? The people who stick with COD, who are loyal, who are committed to playing Call of Duty, they're just going to get Xboxes going forward. They're just going to play on gaming PCs. They are never again going to buy a PlayStation. PlayStation is going to be that platform that people make fun of for not having Call of Duty, and that is a reputation well-deserved.
Wow. That is probably the most uninformed opinion ever. And I feel sorry for you. I wish that I remembered that Happy Gilmore meme off the top of my head, but that was the most dumbest, idiotic thing that you have said and could have said. Everyone in this room and watching this video now is now dumber because they had to watch you give your opinion on that. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. It's wild to me how someone can be that wrong in thinking not only PlayStation gonna be falling off because of the fact that they don't have Call of Duty anymore. No, they do. It's just that Microsoft now owns it, and they have to give money to Microsoft. I also want to point out that I remember seeing a tweet somewhere where someone was like, well, that means that that means that PlayStation is the main moneymaker for Xbox, hence a win. And I'm like, you do realize that they're giving money to their competition, right? That's not necessarily a win. It's really fucking not, and it's so fucking stupid that whole thing kind of happened. But in any case, no, Nintendo was made fun of for not having COD, but people knew why, and it's gonna be like, oh, it's a reputation well deserved. Well, I think that there is other ways that you can make fun of Sony, not just the fact that they fucking threw this entire big tantrum and then just decided to not follow through or anything like that. It's just Harman. Every time I cover you, you somehow get stupider and stupider with each passing second. So, surprising. No one, this opinion and this information, quote unquote, is wrong, and just this man hasn't been following. In any case, I think that'll about do it for this video. Again, this is a supplemental, smaller video to be kind of going in on like the Friday, and I don't think many people will cover Harman in this context. Most people will be going after Big Fish. I'll leave a link to a couple other people down in the description below if you want some more Salt content. But be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and support me in any way you see fit. If your viewership is always enough, but if you want to send me some money or anything like that, links to everything, including Gumroad, Patreon, and other stuff, down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. Harman, get a hobby, and a peace off.
Hey man, can I get a favor? Yeah, sure, hot, no, see you later. Sometimes I just wanna be a